This tripod light system allows you to check star charts, maps, assemble telescopes, and even locate your tripod without majorly impacting your night vision. For this project, you will need scrap wire, preferably color-coded into 4 distinct colors, a 9-volt battery, a 9-volt battery connector, a standard 9-volt plug, 550 RGB LED strips, an extra connector for your LED strips, an RGB LED controller and remote, a soldering iron and high-tech solder, electrical tape, and heat shrink tubing. For tools, you'll need a knife, a lighter, a small screwdriver set, and wire stripper. If you're making this for an unsupported tripod, you'll also need double-sided Velcro strips. Let's get started. So first I'm going to build the wiring harness. I'll take my LED strip connector and my scrap wire. So first I'm going to split apart the wire on the connector. Then I'll take my scrap wire and fold each piece of it into 3. Then take my wire stripper and cut it apart. I'll do that for all 4 colors. Then I'll strip all the wires. I'm going to wire my 3 leads together. Then I'll grab my connector and wire it onto the leads in the same direction. There you go. So once I have all the leads wired onto the connector, I'll take heat shrink tubing and place it over the wires. I'll slide it all the way up to the connection point, making sure to completely cover it. Then I'll take a lighter and apply heat to it. Now once you have finished heat shrinking the main part of your wiring harness, you now need to divide the sets of wires into groupings. Each grouping will have 1 wire of each color. We then place a small piece of heat shrink tubing over top of these wires to group them together. So now once you have your whole wiring harness bundled up, you can pass 1 piece of large diameter heat shrink over all the wires to seal everything up. Then just apply a little bit of heat. So now once you have your whole wiring harness heat shrunk, you're now ready to start trimming LED strips. So with the LED strips, you may notice there's little copper connectors every 3 LEDs. So for mine, I'm going to need 2 strips. I'm going to take my wire cutters. I'm going to cut right on the black line. So now once you've cut your strips, you're going to take a knife and trim off the connection points on one end. So here's a completely trimmed strip, all ready for solder. Let's take my 9-volt battery connector and strip both the leads to be approximately ½ an inch in length. Then, I'll place a piece of heat shrink tubing over both of the leads, all the way to the battery connector. Then I'll fold over both leads and insert them into the contact points on the 9-volt plug. I'll then use a small screwdriver to secure the contact points. Now, I'll heat the heat shrink to secure it around the leads. So now, take your electrical tape and your battery connector cable and seal up the end of your cable with electrical tape. And there's your completed power cable. The first wire you're going to want to solder is your ground. Then solder the other wires on as well. For me, it is yellow to green, red to red, and blue to blue. After your soldering job, make sure to plug in and test your LEDs. Everything seems to be working fine. Once you have finished soldering all the connections, slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over the connections and the wires. Don't be afraid to partially cover the last LED. Then, heat it up with a lighter to shrink the heat shrink. So now you need to attach it to your tripod. If your tripod does not have horizontal supports for the legs, you'll need a double-sided Velcro strip and a pair of side cutters to attach it. So cut your Velcro strip in half. Next, peel off and trim small pieces of the adhesive backing of the LEDs. Then, stick on the Velcro strips. Once you have all of the Velcro strips attached to your LEDs, Velcro it to the legs of your tripod with the LEDs facing downward. If you're using a tripod that does have horizontal support bars for the legs, peel off the protective backing, then stick them to the underside of the braces. Now that the LEDs are all attached to the tripod, you can use the remote to select any one of a million colors. There you go, a light-up tripod for astrophotography and astronomy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you enjoyed this song, make sure to check out BrayX4's profile on SoundCloud. The link's in the description.
Clear takeoff, 27, Oscar Lima Kilo.
I came to win, to survive.